Welcome to Donu's Week, which is about what I've been up to for the past 7 days, the people I've interacted with, the places I've been to, the things I've done and not done, and the thoughts I've had. Hello everyone, thank God it's Friday. I'm particularly thankful this week that it's Friday because it's been so hectic. Anyway, welcome to Donu's Week, in which I tell you what's been going on in Donu's world for the past 7 days. Okay, well, let me start with a low light, something really sad for me, which was the death of the international reggae music superstar Jimmy Cliff. He was a big part of my childhood, and my parents loved him too. I think he was from Jamaica, and he died, and he will be sorely missed. And I'm sure most of you have heard some of his songs. The most famous one, I think, was "On My Life, I Swear I'll Never Let You Down." Anyway, excuse my voice, but that was my favorite. Fortunately, there were a number of highlights that cheered me up to make this week less gloomy than it would have been if all that had happened was Jimmy's death. Actually, last weekend we had the wedding of the son of Mrs. Didi Wilson-Jack, a highly respected civil servant who is married to a wonderful man from my state called Mimi. And their son's wedding was a great event, very stylish, very impressed by the young lady he has chosen. I am sure she'll be a great wife to our son, which is how we describe our friends' children in Nigeria. Another really positive thing that happened this week was the launch of something called the Lokoja Dialogues. It's the brainchild of my friend Polly Alakija, a very talented artist from Europe who came to Nigeria many moons ago to marry a Nigerian man. And even when he passed away, she stayed behind to share her talent and her love of humanity with us. Now, the Lokoja Dialogues is something I will dwell on at greater length in future, but let me just quickly read you her mission statement. Her vision is a Nigeria where every community has equitable access to water and the power to shape sustainable, locally anchored solutions, resulting in a safer and more secure future. And then her mission is Lokoja Dialogues exists to surface community-defined challenges and connect them to policy, partnership, and investment pathways that drive sustainable water solutions and break the cycle of climate-driven poverty. I have to say that she's getting some really, really good help from government departments, including, I think, primarily the ministries of budget and national planning and the Ministry of Water Resources. Okay, so well done, Polly. Now, something else that has, made this week a good week overall, despite my beloved Jimmy Cliff's death, is visits from two fantastic Nigerian girlfriends who live in London most of the time but have come here for different reasons. There's Helga Ujima, who's half German. Our late mothers were great friends. Her mother was the German half of her. Our late fathers were great friends. Her father was a distinguished doctor from the southeast. And so she's here on holiday. And we went salsa dancing with some other friends called Roz, Eleanor, and Chinelo on Wednesday. I must admit that I sat there in the corner like a sack of Gary. If you don't know what Gary is, Google it. Drinking a beer while the girls hit the dance floor and did various very stylish snake hipped moves. It was great fun. I loved watching them. I'll join in the next time when I've got more energy. So Helga is joined in my home as a guest by Annette Fisher. You probably have heard quite a lot about Annette indirectly because her mother was the aunt I kept on telling you about last month and the month before, who died in London and was buried in Lagos. And I've said quite a lot about her, Auntie Beatrice. So Annette was here to collect an award that she was given by the Nigerian Institute of Architects. She got the award because she's one of the most accomplished architects in this country. Even though she's based in the UK, she comes home a lot and is one of these people who could exclusively focus on elite projects like big houses for rich people, designing big houses for rich people, but she's also very concerned about providing affordable housing for the majority. So she has a great social conscience, and we are very proud of her for getting that award. Another thing that was very uplifting was attending the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations 35th anniversary event, which was organized by my dear friend, Hajia Lami Tumaka. We used to work together many years ago when I was an assistant to the Minister of Transport, and she was working in the same ministry, and she was head of media, actually. So we were natural partners, but we became great pals, and she's still going strong. And this conference she's organized for the 35th anniversary of her institute, I'm so sorry, was a great success. So finally, I want to give a shout out to Patricia Wask, one of my most dedicated viewers. If you have a YouTube channel, there'll be weeks when hardly anyone watches your stuff. But Patricia always manages to watch and always sends me encouraging feedback. And so, last week I was asking my viewers why you think that we as human beings always like stuff that's bad for us, like alcohol and sugar, and hate stuff that's good for us, like exercise. And Patricia responded by saying that she condoled me for the loss of my friend, Shegun Awolowo, and congratulated me for one or two other things I had done last week that I told you about in last week's video. And she says that she has plenty of guilty pleasures, including good, authentic French champagne. And her favorite is called Luc Belair, which is bottled in Provence. She says it's so yummy. She also loves warm sourdough bread, fresh out of the oven, slathered in butter, which is another thing we're told we should be very careful of. She loves fettuccine Alfredo, grilled filet mignon, red meat is another thing we're all supposed to avoid, but which many of us love. I love red meat. And ice cream. So she also told me that her husband is facing a number of health challenges. So I hope you'll join me in praying that Patricia Wask's husband has a speedy and pain-free recovery from the challenges he has faced in the past few months. And I think that's a good point at which to close this week's video, and thank you for listening.